All right, we're going to open meeting up the 24th day of June. At this time, we always take prayer requests. Do we have any prayer requests?
Before you do prayer requests, may I make a request?
Well, we're in prayer requests. Has got something to do with that?
We'll make it a prayer request.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you, would whomever prays, pray that we have the grace toward each other, that God's given us the grace to be where we are in the position we are. I ask that the door be opened. Corey's response was to sit in the car. Some of these elected officials that are here prior to meeting time, would you ask or appoint one of them to please open the door? Karen opened it as soon as she got here, but I don't think that's a big deal.
We need to open it 5 or 10 people, just prior to the meeting.
Well, Karen did open it, but Corey said sit in your car. I don't think that's an appropriate response. And I don't think everybody needs to slide in here at 5 o'clock when the meeting's supposed to be started.
All right, we'll take that all into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Back to prayer request. Anybody have any prayer requests?
Mark and Rory's lost her sister, and remember that family.
And the Lord is a sister. Your church in here. And y'all.
What's your name?
What's your name?
Donna Yeoman.
No, Yeoman. Oh, he's better.
Well, you give me, I got a couple of friends that I've graduated with. Both of them's got cancer. One of them's Paul Hill
Bless him.
and Jane Pesnell.
Yeah. Both of them take personal Paul here.
Yeah. And they're pretty advanced in
Is that Mayor Peasant?
It is. Remember my sister-in-law, Stacy Myers, she's 54 got cancer, and it's on her pretty hard, and then her dad, his name's Ed O'Neill, and they've sent him home with hospice, just possibly a short time there, so my family's got pretty tough. Remember him.
I talked to John O'Lager. He told me they told him Monday he's going to have to be on chemo the rest of his life. And it makes him really sick, so we need to remember him.
John, that's Kim's dad, beside you, and then Clinton's father-in-law. Yes. Y'all remember John O'Lager?
I remember my first cousin, well, we lost another cousin to cancer really this past Thursday.
Pray for my family. My sister lost her life after the last meeting. She passed away.
I remember Karen and her family, just right after the meeting, the next day, if I'm not mistaken, she lost her sister, so that. Remember the men and women that serve this country, past, present, and future. It's been a price that's been paid throughout the years with our men and women that serve our country. Remember the homeless, some choose that life, some do not, regardless they're homeless. Remember a homeless veteran. I've always said it, and I'll say it till I leave this world. We shouldn't have not one homeless veteran on the streets. Homeless, period. I don't care how you weigh it up, we just shouldn't have it. But we do. Of course, remember all our first responders, that's from our police, EMTs, firemen, paramedics, everybody. Remember them, especially right now, the heat, the way it is. I think Florida's got a lot of flood going on down in the south. Remember those folks, and we got some folks up in the west that's battling wildfires. Remember those folks. Remember our churches in the community. All the churches, remember our little churches over here, I think we got a total of 7 in our little community right here. So remember all those. have anything at the church is going on, Quentin? Y'all got anything going on?
No. Anything particular?
Gary?
No, I don't have anything right now.
Mark, this coming Sunday is our 5th Sunday singing and all the churches come together. That's at Macedonia.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
And also we have our vacation school starting. It's ways out, but it's the last week of July. And I announce it at next month's meeting too.
Sunday night, that singing starts at 5 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock at the Macedonia. Feel Sunday night, so you ever feel Sunday, they have it at a different church, the singing. It's at Macedonia, this.
Yeah, never feel
Yeah, it's just church singing. All the churches in the community get together and go to one church and have singing. Anybody have anything else on their line of prayer? Remember anything? No. All right, I'll ask Quentin to have her. Everybody got a hat on, you'll take it off, Quentin.
Father, we come to you tonight, we thank you, Lord, for the day, we thank you, Lord, for your many blessings of life. Pray, Lord, that you watch over us, and take care of us. If we do the business of community, Lord, to please you, all the prayer requests that's been made and known tonight, Lord, you know each and every one, you know the needs, you know, Heavenly Father, the answer. And I pray tonight, Lord, that you just bless each and every one that's come this way, and we'll give you the praise, bless in your name. Amen.
Everybody look at me, it's over. Everybody look them over, any additions or deletions to the minutes? If not, do I hear a motion to pass the previous minutes?
Make a motion to accept the reading.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Minutes carried. It's passed. You're on the phone there, Corey, I'll just go to you, the fire department, you got anything?
We had 2 calls in the month of June, they were both water related with the boat. That's all that we had. I would like to clarify, my response was not to just go sit in the car, it was asking if the air conditioner worked, and that would be sufficient, should be sufficient.
Thank you for that response.
That's all I have, thank you.
Gary, you got anything?
At the rescue truck video,
It's a good deal.
So we don't hold it?
No, no, much.
No, don't worry.
Well, list there. It's kind of with no job, but I can get him when he gets flagged there from that. Doing that. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I need to, is it right, this is it right here? No. We gotta get a second final. Well, wait just a minute, let's do this here. Let's go to, we'll go to old business and we can get it on. He's got back.
He's coming in.
Oh, okay. Don't know, cover everybody, Chief, you got anything? Nothing major going on, anything of that nature? All right. All that, then we'll go to old business. Old business is the second final reading of the budget. Any questions about that, then do I hear a motion to accept the budget second and final reading?
Make a motion to accept.
Second. All in favor saying aye? Aye. Motion carries, any opposed? All right, so that takes care of the budget, yeah. Sign this right quick. I'm just gonna do it. Look there and watch you doing that. Anybody got any other old business we need to talk about?
Fire hydrants that were, Billy was gonna check on.
All the fire hydrants been repaired. Everything's been fixed, but the fire hydrant is tore up, been new and replaced, been raised out of the ground where it can't hit it no more. And there's no contract between New Hope and South Pittsburgh about cutting grass around the fire hydrant.
So what's the solution? That we don't run over it again?
Anybody wants to volunteer to cut grass around the fire hydrant, we appreciate it, because we don't have no full-time employees like South Pittsburgh and Kimball do.
That's a public works thing, right? That would be a public works.
If we had a public works department,
If we have public works, we don't have one, plus they do it because they want to, they don't have to, but most of our fire hydrants, a lot of our fire hydrants, I rode around, checked all of them, or in people's yards, and they mow around them, keep them clean. I didn't see none where you couldn't get to or access, you need to get them.
have you got one in particular, Ms. Helen?
What about the one we ran over with the bush hog?
It's been fixed, been repaired, is what I said.
Okay, well, is it gonna stay where the grass isn't gonna grow up over it?
Well, they put it 12 inches higher, so it's,
And we do.
and plus, ain't nobody lived there in 40 years. Somebody just bought that land, that's why they ran over for it. No one lived there in 40 years. It's been 40 years since somebody lived there. No one, and half the people here didn't know the fire hydrant was even there, it was off in a ditch. Now they raised it up, it was like this, now they raised it up like this. You can see it from the road now, before you couldn't see it.
Okay, we don't have public works, but we do have somebody that does Mapleview, right?
That's different.
Yeah, that's different. That's got nothing to do with public works. I don't know.
Pay those people, though, don't we?
The mow here, that has nothing to do with the fire
Fire hydrants do not belong to us. We don't own the fire hydrants. The city of South Pittsburgh owns the fire hydrant. We just lease them.
Marion
Gas. We just lease them. We don't, and there's no contract between no city, he said.
But the water line doesn't belong to the city anymore.
Well, I understand that completely. I understand that's their fire hydrant. But if I were in charge of the water company and a city ran over it 2 or 3 times, I might get a little upset about that.
Who run over it?
I said if it was run over 2 or 3 times, I might get a little upset
Well,
about that.
I asked him about that too, and somebody runs over and stuff, they usually take a police report, and the insurance pays for the fire hydrants and all that stuff. And since that was off in the hole, no one noticed it there, even probably them, and it was sitting on the ground, that's why they raised it up for it. Like I said, they raised it up, now you can't hit it now, no way to hit it. And they go around and flush all them out. That's the only thing they do, they maintain them, they flush them out. But they don't cut grass around. Like I said, a lot of them's in people's yard, they take care of them, they mow around, so.
So you were okay with all of them that you rode by and saw?
Was you okay with it? Everything good?
Yeah, I didn't see nothing wrong with no fire hydrants here.
No, I've not been around.
Jerry, same way, Jerry checks them.
Okay, good. Thank you.
The ones that needed replaced are being replaced. One at the fire hall's been replaced over here, one down there has been replaced, and one by that church that got ran over has been replaced. So they all been replaced.
Okay.
Anything else on the fire hydrants?
Not on the hydrants, but on the fire department.
Oh, I'm sure that's coming up, because every month we got something at the fire department.
Yeah.
You know how many fire plugs we got in the city, Ms. Helen?
How many?
Fire plugs we have in the city, you know?
No, but Karen gave me a nice little piece of paper.
We got 31. We got 31 and 4 at Lodge and 1 in Columbia.
Yeah, she gave me some paperwork and I
Yes,
appreciate
they maintain
that.
those, you know.
Yeah.
And plus the fire hydrants at State Line and up there at Colonial Chemical and stuff are all on an automatic flush. They flush once a week. But they automatically flush. They don't have to go around and flush them. So,
If they didn't flush those hydrants, your water would stink, you couldn't drink it.
no,
You know, that's the reason, one of the reasons they flush is to build chlorine up there, where it's safe to drink. So they keep them flushed, especially the
Is
dead.
this old business?
It is, no, it's old business. Okay, any other old business?
Okay, old business. Corey, did you get the certification for the recognition?
No, ma'am, but I've been assured again that we are certified. There has been some administration problems at the fire marshal's office, and they have put it in the mail, so we should get it this week. But the holdup is several changes in administration, and as I said before, we are certified,
Okay.
are recognized.
Okay, thank you. In addition to being recognized, one of the first things in that is the assistance to the commission application. Did we apply for that at the same time we applied to be reinstated for recognition?
Assistant to the commissioner?
Yes, and that's normally falls to the fire chief because I have a form if you would like it.
Oh, I'm already certified.
Okay,
I have been for quite a while.
so your name has to be there.
Be where?
Your name, the name of the person, not a position, has to be on file in Nashville.
Okay,
So
I am recognized as a assistant to the commissioner.
for New Hope.
Yes, ma'am. And
Okay,
South
good deal.
Pittsburgh both.
Okay. By name, okay. I got some other fire stuff you want me to just have
Now,
at it?
just wait to citizens who don't care, and we'll go that route. Any other business? All right, we'll move to new business. Anybody have any new business? We discussed, let's see,
The subdivision stuff anymore?
I'll let you go to it first. Jerry, you had picked up on here last meeting, we discussed Oklahoma Chemical asked about the portion of the road that goes around through by 911 Stone. Tracy's working on that. There's no use to the city. They own the property on both sides of that abandoned road. So he's working on that to get that taken care of there. The 911 communication tower, he's working on that. There's some language that needs to be changed. We had it here, but instead of trying to accept that in 9-form resolution, we're going to wait because that needs to really be presented to them to look it over and make sure that they're okay with that. If we pass it tonight and they're not okay with it, then we got to do it all over again. No sense in that. So y'all look that over. So they have a meeting in about, I think, when's that meeting in? You know, John? It's next week or two they have a meeting. So they'll look that over. If they're okay with it, in 2 weeks, get back to Tracy, their attorney will, and the July meeting, we can pass out a resolution on that. So I think that's all the business we have. All right. Now we'll go to citizens. Before we go to citizens, Ms. Hill, I know you got questions about the fire department.
I've got answers.
You got answers?
Questions.
Oh, just answer. Okay, well, go ahead, then here we go. It's a monthly thing. Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll listen. Thank you.
And Mark asked me the last meeting why I was so interested in the fire department. I've been reading and researching this stuff since 21. And we talk about, the table talks about volunteer and the fact that they're volunteering and, you know, you can't request or demand people do things when they volunteer. But if they volunteer, there are certain qualifications that they have to be willing to meet. And to be a volunteer fire person in the Tennessee.gov MPAS thing, they have to have a high school diploma or an equivalent GED. They have to have a valid driver's license without revocation or suspension for 24 months. And they have to pass a medical exam by a licensed physician. And they must pass physical ability tests administered by the department. And it mentioned the SCBA tanks that weigh between 50 and 100 pounds, the hoses, some of the hoses, that type of thing. So even if you volunteer, to volunteer, you just can't say, I volunteer and not meet certain criteria. So when we use that term, my interpretation from the way we were using it was that if I say I'm going to volunteer, then I'm a volunteer, but you don't have any, you can't require me to do anything other than volunteer, and that's not true. I also found this, that was kind of an eye-opener. But the fire department records for training.
Can I add to that before you go on?
Oh, yes, you certainly may.
We have people in the department that volunteer on other aspects that don't actually fight fires too.
Right.
That may not meet those standards.
But they do support work.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sure you do. You would need that. As a matter of fact, when I read all of this, I thought you might need a PA. But fire department records for training and personnel, they're open for investigation of on demand during any reasonable business hours. Now, I'm going to assume that's state people that might come in. But they are part of the open records request. I did not know that. Did you know that? Did you know that? I did not know that.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, sure.
What's the point of all of this? What point are you trying to make here?
The point I'm trying to make is I'm not sure.
I'm just saying because,
It's every month, and we all know where
I
it stems from, way back when we got a chief here and didn't get his way. It's what the whole
No.
I got the floor right now, Ms. Evans. And that's, it's every month, it's a fire department problem. It's nothing else in the city but a fire department problem. Just put it on strings for people. You know, you gotta hide behind things, and it's every month. Now, board, I'm sitting here, so if y'all want to speak, am I right or wrong?
You're right.
It's every month.
You're right.
It's just because, it's nothing, we got the whole city going on, but we gotta worry about this. Every month is something.
well, my point is that you have a qualified individual here and I would assume the whole department's qualified to do their job. Okay, let's move on.
It's every month. We gotta-
And the thing about it to me is, what matters is if he have a high school education or not, if he running in the building, putting your house out, you know?
I mean, if your house is on fire, and you're trapped in it, you got a kid in there, you gonna stop and say, let me see your phone.
And so you,
No,
No, that's
that's what I'm trying to say.
It's just an issue every month. Well, other things we need to be, we got a good fire department, we got a good chief, he's been slandered, put down on you, ratting you, and everywhere else. And he's a good man, he does a good job. Jerry's been the chief, he's done a great job. He's done a great job. These men that serve do a great job. And my hands is off to all these people that serve.
and it's hard to quit bashing everybody on fire
It's
department.
just.
Okay, I am not.
We supply them everything they need. If they ask for it, we supply it.
You supply them everything they need, but I cannot even get the names of the men on the roster. I don't know.
Does it really matter who they are?
It does to me. It does. It does to me.
They're coming to your house putting the fire out. You know, you can
Well,
sit there and question who they are.
that might not be anything that's important to you, but to me as a citizen, it is important.
I think there's other important issues.
And I am not just bringing those things up in all of this important stuff that we're going to do.
I don't know. I mean, I would
Appreciate it. Thank you. Goes with Jerry.
I've been fire chief for right around 38 years. And when I went to Bell Buckle and took my fire chief training and been doing all this firefighting all these years, and no one in the state has ever asked me if my fireman had a high school diploma or if they had been and taken a physical. Why didn't they ask me that 38 years ago?
I don't know, but if they came and looked at our records now, would we meet the standards?
The last time that we got an ISO rating, they came here and they went through every record that we got, and we passed and got a 6.5 or something like that rating. And no problem, nobody's ever come up with anything like this before.
And that ISO
Criteria when
rating.
they do their inspections, whether they've got a high school education or they're.
I'm just telling you what standards are in the Tennessee documents.
Okay, but they don't care, they don't ask that when they do an inspection.
No.
They don't care whether you don't have a GED or whether you've got a master's in fire science. They don't care.
It doesn't matter to them.
They don't ask.
We're talking about standards, and you're talking about what they're asking about. So the
But I think those standards are set for big cities, full-time
no,
jobs.
it says volunteer fire departments.
I would be concerned if a man gets to my house, gets on fire. I'm not going to ask him if he's got the qualification of a high school diploma.
And you got to.
No, I
I'm just
would not
thinking
do
he showed,
that.
wouldn't you just be thinking a man showed up and begging him, please hurry, try to get my
I
house out?
understand exactly what you're saying.
Well, we know
but
where it kind of goes. We know, everybody in this room, this whole city knows where this is going and where it's been going. And this needle in every meeting, we always knows who's behind everything.
You know, when you're, no, I'm behind this.
I understand.
I will take full responsibility for
And
that.
if we get a surprise surprise inspection, we're gonna know what it came from one of a couple places.
I mean, we don't.
If I ask
Because
for a surprise inspection,
We're in a good place with a 6.
And this is what's gonna happen too.
Can I finish?
Y'all gonna keep on coming in trouble until we lose everybody on this fire department, and your house insurance is gonna go up about 3 times higher.
my husband,
A 6 on a fire rate for this area is exceptional.
okay,
And if we have an inspection, a surprise inspection, it may not make it to a 6. And then what happens next?
well, let me tell you,
Your insurance goes
if I
up.
ask for an inspection, you guys will be the first to know. Because I'm not a go along to get along type person. And I'm not a yes person. I have questions and people have been evasive. And I've asked people to come to this meeting and they're like, well, you know, they don't feel wanted to come here. And I understand why from just this. I mean, if there's 10 things that I'm supposed to do as an alderman, and 10 criteria that's in the state records that I need to be up to par for my title and my position, I'm gonna be those 10 things.
You
Okay?
should run for office then, I would think.
Yeah.
Well, if my husband wasn't gravely ill, I possibly would consider that.
Okay.
But
Well, I've been alderman for many years, and I have done the very best I could do to support this city and the people of this city.
I know
And now you
that.
come in here and bash me?
no, I am not
You-
bashing
you-
you. Well, if you want to take it personally, that's,
Because I did this for the city, and now you're bashing me because you don't feel like I've done my job.
no, I'm not bashing you. I'm not sure that our records would stand critiquing.
Well, they will. So this is, what else you got? We've established that. So what else you got, Ms. Ellen? We'll try to answer the best
That's
we can.
it, but no, if I call for anything, you guys will be the first to know.
Thank you, thank you. Anybody else have anything? Because I don't want to make this a 9-minute meeting and get in trouble.
Yeah, hey, Mark, just if somebody could explain to me our relationship with Mapleview, the city's relationship. I mean, I know that
It was there before I got mayor, okay? So I'll do the best I can. Anybody can help me here. John will probably know more than anybody. Y'all too. So the TVA started that, okay? To my understanding, like they had Mapleview, Shell Mound, and the one over by the interstate, over by Big Daddy's, that used to be one of them. And I guess through the years, cutbacks, and they just cut them off. They closed this, one was in the process of closing. Closing.
Last club got it, and they were going to pile dirt up in front of the road and close it down. So the last club got it, and we kept it up, and then we turned it over, asked the city if they wanted it. So it got turned over to the city, and we went through all the paperwork, and we got it. They even gave us some money for upkeep. But now it's actually still belongs to TVA. The property still belongs to TVA. But we got privileges to it through the city.
We govern, basically.
Yeah.
Everything goes on with it, we govern.
But it is outside of city limits, right?
Yes, outside our limits, which is 377, but we can take that in. And also, our jurisdiction, people understand, goes 1 mile outside the city that we can cover without any intervention whatsoever. We go 1 mile, which will take us up to Macedonia Church and through there. And then we could even go further if requested, but that's what our jurisdiction will follow and cover 1 mile outside the city limits.
Mark, let me just clarify my reasoning for my question. I drive by there a lot, like many of us do, in Chattanooga or whatever, and I'm amazed at the people that are taking advantage of that little swimming area. And I just have to assume that a lot of them are probably low income. Obviously, they don't have swimming pools. And I think it's a great thing that the city's doing. And it looks good. I mean, it's always mowed and all that. I wouldn't be opposed to getting some more sand in there one day. But other than that, y'all are doing a great job keeping it up. I just want to kind of understand how that works.
City's the caretaker of it.
A few years after the bath club got it, and the city commission one time talked about doing away with it. Well, TVA said, we'll lease it out to some individual, let them run it, they could have camping, they could have whatever up there, and the city decided to keep it. And I think they've done a 99-year lease.
Okay.
And instead of individual getting it and turn it into whatever they wanted to.
Right.
We do have sand delivered up there. We didn't this year because we didn't need it in that particular area.
Right.
But me and some of the other guys have been talking about going on around that curve right there.
Where it's grown up.
Yeah, and putting sand on that too, because like you say, I check it every day or two. And the people are, more people now than they've ever been in the history of it. And I can tell you what me and other people have said is the cause of that. Because they can't afford to travel.
Right.
So they're staying home and going to the beaches.
Exactly. I bet if I had to guess, if I had to guess, there had to be 7,500 kids in there this week.
Oh, yeah. And on
That's awesome.
Sunday morning, well, when we went out to church, a little after 12, well, it's already packed. And when we get out about 7 o'clock Sunday night, it's still packed.
Yeah, it's just a good thing to see.
The only concern I've got about it is if we get called for life force and that particular area is filled up. But I'm going to bring it up before the board about having that area marked off just for life force.
But, hang on just one second. If you go up there, we've done it, John's done it, probably less than 10% of anybody that's there is from the city of New York.
Exactly.
Or less.
Exactly. But it's still children and it's
Oh, yes, it's still, but just right here, so you can see most of them off the mountain or that way, Brian, or even over Trenton.
Yes, exactly.
But it's a good thing too, because they've got some dollar store right here close where they run down and get Cokes and chips and whatever. So we do make money off of it.
And we do have access to it.
That's right.
Use it.
Exactly.
Yeah, speaking of that, there's a restroom facility that's boarded up, isn't it?
The reason for that is the water. It's a well there and it has to be tested. It costs greatly now to have that done. And also, it's open, but some people just don't know how to use a commode correctly. Use that as a sink.
All they have is problems with that bathroom.
Yeah, just issues. You go in and you hide and you do your dirty deeds or whatever you're gonna do, and that's the other problem.
Well, does the city pay for the porta johns? The good thing about them, if they get nasty, you just have them replaced.
Yeah.
It's probably cheaper than upkeep of the.
They're safer too,
Yeah, because the water has to be tested weekly.
Nobody got any other business? I got something I want to say real quick, and ain't no comment to it, and we're done. I know, we get bashed on different social medias and stuff, but we got a fine fire department. We do. Got a good chief. Jerry served as a good chief, done a great job. Still on there, almost 80 years old, still in there, hanging in there with us and doing all he can do. We got a call yesterday, him and Corey showed up to it. Jared was out here, where he's quick, to get to it or whatever. He's got the doors open, trucks running, started, ready to go for the younger men. A lot of times Jerry goes on, but if he sees there's enough men here or whatever, he's on it. And Corey's right here and he's right on it. These men that serve on it.
They have a fire department meeting every month.
Yeah, they have one every month, but it's not open discussion. I just want to get this out. Okay, thank you. And Karen does a great job. I know she's been back and stuff too. Does a great job. Got us in good shape. We're on the system now and all that. People don't get away. They won't whine, cry, bitch, moan and groan. And she's done a great job. This board agrees with me 100%. She's got things in good working order and stuff. She's not perfect. Mistakes get made. I don't care who you are, what you are. You make a mistake, you correct it and move on. It's that simple. Just keep on and on. We need to move the city forward. I'm not running for mayor. Everybody knows that. I'm not. 3 people are running. I wish them all the best. I mean that. But it's not as simple as you think it is. You sit at the house all day long and you got nothing to do and figure out things. But a little city's harder to run than a big city. I'll just tell you, it's a lot harder to run, a lot more to do and things. And our city's growing, and it's going to continue growing. And I wish we could all work together to see it grow. And when I ran 20 years ago, people asked me, what are you going to do? I didn't have a clue what I was going to do myself. I was as green as grass. I'll be honest. But I did say this, I'm going to try to take a good place that's been made and try to make it a little better. I think we've accomplished that. Some things I have failed on, I'll take full blame and responsibility for, the park being one of them. But we've got some ideals together, moving forward. Still the ones that's on this board and the ones that's going to be elected, this is going to come together. I know it seems like it's slow and it's moving, things do. There's some money out there that's been allocated through the American Rescue that we've got that we're setting forth to put towards this park to get it moving forward and everything. But I wish we'd work more together instead of against one another. Yeah. And didn't mean for nobody, and I hope you don't feel like or anybody feels like they can't come to this meeting here and feel wanted and we talk to. But when you come in with a bulldog attitude and mentality, I'm going to have one. That's the problem with some people. They won't come in here just because the mayor's in front of my name. I'm still a man and human, and I've got to take a lot. And I get shot full of hoes. I've been shot full of hoes for the last 4 years. I mean, full of lies told on me, turned into every agency I can be turned into, just on my back constantly. But I'm still here, and I'm going to stay here to the last day. But we've done the best we can do. I've done the best I can do. We've moved forward. We're going to keep trying. And whoever gets elected mayor, I hope they do the same thing, pick it up, and just keep running with it. But we need to work more together instead of against one another. And that's what a lot happens here. And we don't need to do that no more.
Well, I understand working together completely, but I know there are standards, and I think that we need to try to adhere to those to the best of our ability.
And we are, but when you come to me and start trying to point it out, we'll fix it. Maybe instead of somebody trying to beat us up, beat us down, and just
Hey, I'm right there with you. I'm assuming
say, hey, let's what about this? What about that? Instead of just it's negative. Nothing positive. It's just always, the fire department's just negative. It's always something negative. How about lifting them up? The one we had before, all I'm going to say, now, wait a minute, everybody wants to praise him, but there's some dark, deep secrets there that people don't know about. And I'm not going to bring them out here. He knows what they are. He'll watch right in you. He knows what I'm talking about, that you don't know about, nobody else knows about. The reason he's not here. Lies is one of them. Thieving's another. We ain't going to put up with that. Now, that's being said, I'm through. And, anyway, that's all I got to say. And, we're doing the best.
Thank you for your service, board. Thank you for your service. Karen, thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Mr.
I came here tonight to say the very thing that you have said and that he's just said. Thank you to the city council for all that you have done, the hard work that you put into your personal time, your energy, and your effort to make our city better. As long as Quentin served on the council, nobody ever has said thank you. Nobody wants to say anything until it's a complaint. Again, I work in an environment where on the daily I say, because people are trying to, they use negative energy and they have extreme talent, but they use it to harm other people. And I say it on the daily, if all that negative energy, talent was put into positive energy to help people, what kind of world would we have? Because this is a worldwide problem that goes on. But and people try to take advantage of other people. Won't get into the details, but on the daily, I say that. And then I was raised, if I didn't like my teacher, if I didn't like my principal, if I didn't like my city council, if I didn't like my president, that's okay. I have the right to do that. But I respect the position.
Yes.
Also, if I have a problem, I go to that person. Today, in our society, it's so easy to get on social media, to get behind the keyboard, to get behind the camera, and bash, instead of going to a person that you might have a problem with and talking to that person. Nobody wants, like I said earlier, nobody wants to come to the city meetings to be positive. Also, I was raised in a time where we were very patriotic. And we were taught about, well, it came from John F. Kennedy, from his inaugural speech at the very end. You know, don't ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. If every citizen of New Hope would take that locally, you know, what can I do for my city to make it better? But if all this negativity could be turned around to positive, all this energy, talent could be turned into positive for what can I do for my city to make it better? What kind of city would we have had at this point? But I do want to say, I thank you all for, I know the time that you all personally put into making this city better. Your personal time, your personal efforts. It's a servant leadership, and it's not for the thank yous. You didn't get into it to be thanked. You got into it to make our city better. And I just want to say thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well said.
Well said, and on that, we all appreciate that. Thank you very much for what you said.
And I've got 5 more meetings to come to.
Anybody else got anything? If not, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion with you.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor saying aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned.